Welcome back, everybody, once again to our Hapsburg Empire campaign. Now, we're off to an interesting start. I think we've done pretty well so far, but guys, that enemy headquarters is approaching, and in the meantime, we have problems not just with provisions, but also with ammunition. We're going to go to Hot 1 here, and first things first, let's go ahead and focus on the provisions, because if our men start to starve, well then really we're not going to do any good at all. The problem is we're also losing thalers, quite a bit of currency to make that happen. But these cannonballs are not cheap. That being said, guys, if you enjoy the series and you want to see it continue, make sure to like and leave a comment down below. And you guys have been doing such a great job with that. I really want to thank you. It really makes me want to keep the channel running and makes me want to upload a little bit more regularly. But the fact is, that enemy headquarters is on the way, man, and there's no escaping it. So we need to try and find out exactly what we can do to delay it even more. There apparently are supply convoys nearby. I'd like to inspect them. And it looks like we've intercepted a convoy transporting coinage, likely the treasury of a local garrison being moved under escort. The gold has been hastily packed and there's no time to search it at all. We may seize what we can continue marching or halt the column, dismantle the wagons fully, and recover every last thaler. Now, guys, if this happens, one day will pass, but we will get $130. I don't think it's worth it. I'm going to seize what we can get and move on and try to get away from here. We've got some slum areas nearby, and we also have an enemy army that we could potentially take on. In fact, is that the enemy HQ? I think it might be. The problem is the numbers there. 9,600, man. That's a lot. So a bitter quarrel has engulfed the local populace, splitting families and entire quarters into warring camps. The cause is long forgotten, but the bloodshed persists. One side flies the banner of the local magistrate, the other a peasant militia seeking to cast him out of town. Now, we could actually give $100 here and receive 3 weapons in exchange. They say they're going to be fine weapons, so I'm going to take this risk. I typically wouldn't, but they're not that great. I mean, the Hussar Sabers, don't get me wrong, that's awesome. Let's give that to our actual cavalry here. But let's see, the Cuirassier, actually, they're not that great. So again, not the best deal. We could probably sell this stuff for a little more than 100. But there we go. So that is the enemy HQ unit. My God. All right, let's get the hell out of here. Oh my God, we have to go this way? You know, what if we just preemptively attack it? I don't think I'm going to try that. Let's proceed. Look, there is a battlefield over here, so we're going to take a quick look, guys. See if we can't pick anything up off the battlefield. And it looks like we can either tend to the wounded or recover the equipment. Unfortunately, I'm going to be recovering that equipment, guys. We need it. And let's continue heading west. There seems to be more over here, although I don't think we're going to beat the enemy army arriving. However, I'm more concerned about our food situation. Look at that, man. So let's take a look here at the battlefield. Amongst the thickets of the field, we found an officer. Okay. Let's pray for him. And we actually did get an additional officer. The problem is, we need food right now. Come on, baby. Come on, get to Kaschau. I think we made it just in time. Let's get that. Oh, boom. Beautiful. As for all of these muskets and swords, we can sell them. We'll keep one of the Yonkopings because I think we might have a unit that doesn't have the best muskets, but we'll take a look and confirm that. Neustadts. Yeah, there we go. Better the Yonkopings than nothing else. However, we still have a food situation. And we still have an enemy army arriving, guys. And what's that? It's quite a large British force right there. I wonder, like, do we have time to face it before we face the main army? I'm not so sure. Let's take a look here at the supply cache. All right, lightly guarded supplies. I like this. Some $40 to face a weak detachment. Or we could get 90 provisions. We kind of need everything. Let's go for their coin. So here we go, guys. A very weak enemy detachment here at Homenau. Hopefully we can make quick work of these guys. Not even leave a smudge on the map. At least that's what I'm hoping for here. Just immediately proceeding forth with the rest of these guys. Might as well. I think we could just kind of overwhelm them here with numbers. The other bonus, I guess, about this is, you know, we can train the men for the upcoming battle. So even though it's a very small force, I think defeating them will give some morale to our men. So let's go ahead. We're going to increase the speed, as a matter of fact. Our Grenzer recruits will be the first to open fire, I'm sure of it. You can see, despite thinking we have a pretty large army, and we do, I mean, it's not massive, I gotta say. Like, we could still use a lot more manpower here to face the main force, of course. Actually, let me switch fire to that artillery. Is that the cavalry, pardon me? I'm gonna go ahead. Nice! Already got some shots on the Provincial Guard, and there we go. The Grenzer recruits have opened up. Just want to make sure that that cavalry unit doesn't become a threat, really. All right, Fusiliers. I was going to speed them up, but it looks like they're already speeding up. They are running to that position. Red's recruits took a nasty volley there. Let's have our Chevaliers go ahead and fire off a volley too. So this would be 3 pretty heavy volleys into recruits, which should break them. And sure enough, look at that. They're already starting to break. 1 strong volley should knock them all down. Let's go for it, boys. Sehr gut. Okay. Now for the Chevaliers. We're actually going to go ahead and focus on the enemy cavalry. Same with the infantry here. And again, very easy victory there. Nothing to write home about. I don't even think we took a single casualty in the entire battle, if I'm being honest. All right, quite a few thalers. Victory at Homenau, and we got a bunch of battle loot, guys. That's awesome. I'm almost tempted to go for a veterancy gain, but I think we actually need the ransom. We actually need the ransom. It looks like von Lauden has an upgrade here. So before the big fight, we can choose an additional trait. I like this. The unyielding. It does lower our range, though, which I'm not crazy about, but it gives us a bonus to, or a reduction in damage, I should say. So for the Austrian Fusiliers, I actually don't mind giving them, not the Gators, but the military treatise. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so we can't give it to them. Can we give it to the artillery? Military treatise. We can. Let's give it to this artillery. And the reason being, that's our field artillery. It's a lot stronger. I'm not going to give the military treatise of Santa Cruz. Instead, I am going to head over here to Kaschau and try and get one last unit, guys, before the battle begins. Also, we're running low on food. Let's go to the town square. Look at all of these captured uniforms we can sell. I love it. Boom, 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 and boom. And let's take a look at what we've got here at the barracks. So we only have 1 cavalry unit. It wouldn't be a bad idea maybe to get an additional cavalry unit here. 361. I'm doing it. And we should still have some left over. But not for anything particularly special. I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys. And we do need the meat, so I'm going to take that. Let's take a look now. So, as you can see, we do have this Grenzer provincial cavalry. Or is it provisional? No, it is provincial. We do have an additional general, but we can't use him at the moment. So let's just get the hell out of here. In fact, I want to see if there's any towns nearby. Yep. We're going to head westwards. Oh boy. enemy army. And in fact, we could go ahead and attack that enemy army. Thinking about it, because if we can defeat them, grab their thalers, and then prepare for the final battle, that could be a pretty good idea, a pretty good strategy. We're going for it. We're going for it. It's the right choice. It is the right choice. So here we go, guys. The Battle of Homenau, facing off against Hanoverian Landmilts, Hessian Musketeers, some Redcoat recruits, Alfred Farrell and Maurice von Weissenbach. Despite not being as large an army as ours, these are strong units. They are not anything to be scoffed at, or scoff at, I should say. So I'm going to attack, guys. It's going to make us even more ready for that final fight. And hopefully we can survive that final fight. I'd love to get either another artillery unit or another really good infantry unit. I think we're okay on cavalry for now. But here we go. So fighting begin. I love these sort of urban battles too. I just love the randomness of the game. And when I say the randomness, I'm saying like about the actual geographic location. I really like that. So we're fighting in a proper town here. And I am going to move up the Chevalier as well as the provincial cavalry. But we'll give this time to develop. Of course, we're going to want Leopold Joseph von Daun with us. And I'm just looking at the infantry here. I definitely think we could use another infantry unit for the final fight. 100%. Let me actually get the artillery out here on the road. I also want them to be able to see the enemy. So let's move them up here. Again, as always, if you want to have your name added to the series, all you need to do is leave it down below in the comments, guys. And we will make it happen. Looks like we're already being shot at by their artillery. I'll take it. But for now, I'm actually going to focus my fire on the Landmills. Yeah, we're far, but not far enough to not hit them. We'll still get some pretty decent hits on that unit. Not liking that. The Redcoat recruits on the edge there. And let's actually take the Chevaliers, assist over here. Need those Grenzers to set up and quickly. Same with the Fusiliers. Because the enemy is advancing quickly. Look at that, man. They are advancing very quickly. I don't like the in a river either. That's not good. All right, here we go. At least we're not the only ones, though. All right, I am going to send in the Chevaliers. And let's get Leopold Joseph von Daun right here. Just going to get one volley and then fall back. Just to kind of hold them back a little bit. There we go. Fire at will. All right, fall back. That's all I wanted. All right, open fire on those Redcoats before they make it to the fence. And you can see with the cover, we're not getting as many hits as I'd like. There's pretty good cover, although that right side is still pretty undefended. Well, that's what I was worried about. Fusiliers are taking a nasty hit. What is that? All right, let's make sure that both of our artillery pieces are firing. Might actually fire on the subsidy recruits, believe it or not. I typically would fire on the Landmills, but I think this is actually enough of a threat at the moment to allow us to open fire here. You can get these Chevaliers on the case, and I'm going to send in the provincial cavalry. They are recruits. They should break under a charge like this. I would think so. And ideally, those provincial cavalry can go straight into the Landmills. Here we go. Not close enough for a charge quite yet. Not close enough quite yet. Here we go. Charge! Look at that. Subsidy recruits on the run. Now we're going to focus on the Landmilts, and our provincial cavalry did shatter the enemy. I wonder if we could just go ahead and turn on the Landmilts here. But I think we need to hold for a charge, although look at that. We've got an enemy retreat, although we've lost quite a few men here. We've taken a good beating fighting the enemy in this battle, but nonetheless, we are leaving the battle with a lot of dead redcoats. So I think we're off to an okay start. Now let's wipe out the remainder of this force. A lot of mopping up to do. I have to say, they definitely dented our army here. We're going to need to go get some additional reservists no matter what happens. That's a must. Especially before the final battle here. Actually, I almost want to just chase these recruits and get another shot. I get a feeling they're going to try to return. In fact, let's start making for the tree line there. These Fusiliers understandably took a beating. And at least both of our artillery pieces are zeroed in here on the enemy. Alright, we're going to have to send in the Chevaliers here. Hopefully these guys don't try to come back, but we'll send them in to get a shot on these musketeers. These Hessian musketeers are damn good, man. Their morale is high. Their accuracy is almost perfect. I mean, look at that devastating volley. Yeah, we should not be crisscrossing our guys right now. We're of course, increasing the casualties for our own men. Here we go. Fire for the Hapsburgs, and we should be able to get another volley out of these Austrian Fusiliers, despite the fact that they are done for morale-wise, guys. These guys are so tired, so beaten up, but they're going to get another volley. Look at that. Beautiful. And actually, they've got a little bit of vengeance against the Hessian Musketeers. Let's see if we can finish them off once and for all here. That was a hell of a fight. But again, I think we needed it. I really think we needed it. I'm hoping it's going to allow us to get one more unit. Victory! Always beautiful. Always beautiful. Gives me a little bit of hope that we can still make it through here and succeed. Quite a lot of dollars there for us, boys. And what we really need are actual recruits. So let's actually conscript them. And at this point, we will promote the units that need promoting. We also need to make sure to give some actual ammunition to these units. They used a ton of ammunition during this fight. And our buddy Blazenstein, one of our own channel members here, has upgraded his trait. And again, I think we're going to go for the precise trait. It's going to increase his unit's accuracy, especially with artillery units. I can't think of a better thing to do. So let's do that. Boom, boom, boom. They're fine in terms of actual manpower and ammunition. So guys, we're going to go to Homenau. We did mention earlier that we could use another recruit unit, didn't we? But I'd like to use one that's actually good. Actually would not mind using the Chevaux de Frise. It increases our unit quite a bit against charge resistance. Then again, we could spend that additional cash that we get from selling the Chevaux de Frise to get an even better unit. But I'm going to give it to our Grenza recruits. And maybe some Holsteiner horses for our cavalry. What I'm going to try to do now, guys, is get to the nearest town. And it looks like the nearest town is quite far away. And try and recruit some units before that massive army approaches. Man, it's so close. Okay, there we go. They are approaching, guys. They're on the main road. There is another British army here that we could probably attack, but I think I'm going to hold off just for now. And look at that. We got some Grenzer Fusiliers. That's what I was waiting for, man. A nice elite infantry unit. And look at that. Beautiful, guys. Some Grenzer Fusiliers. They look ready for a fight, and looks like they've got some new shots. Not terrible. Not great, not terrible, right? And also, that's right. I wanted to make sure I upgraded the units. Dutch field artillery or Austrian veteran artillery? Let's go for the Austrian veteran artillery, guys. The Grenzer recruits can once again become Grenzer Fusiliers. Guys, this is all it for the last battle. So as always, make sure to hit that like button and bayonet as always. Bayonet the like button and bayonet in the comments. Really do appreciate it, guys. I will see you in the final fight. Is this enough? I'm not sure, but we're about to find out. All glory to the Habsburgs.